What's up, brownies? I'm going to try to keep this brief. This is kind of a rant because the stress with this topic has literally it has triggered an episode in me, and I woke up with a migraine this morning, and it has carried on throughout the day. But after having to turn my comments off on TikTok and all of that from goons being sent into my comment section to try to tell me what I need to do about my content, I'm over it. For people who don't know what I'm talking about, I have a chronic condition. It is not curable, and it is also not predictable. I don't have regular headaches like regular people. The street term for my condition is stroke migraines, hemiplegic migraines. When I get a migraine that's too severe, it paralyzes one side of my body, which is why I don't work a regular job like regular people, because I can't, which is why I'm trying to be a content creator. And I just got started at the end of January 2023, and I'm trying to build my following. I make pro-Black content. I tell it like it is. I call it fair. It's not always going to be rainbows and butterflies, but what I don't do is tear people down, and especially not Black people who make a point to put other Black people on and to give other Black people opportunities. And you can say whatever you want to say, but that is Kandi Burrs. Point blank and period. And another thing that Kandi does is she doesn't make fun of people for mental illness and stuff like that. I watched it in real time, live the first time. I was one of the first people who made the comments about, hey, I was trying to go back and pull this snippet, and I noticed that the videos, the last 2 videos have been taken down. You can see that I made that post. And so I was one of the first people to call this out. And I had my figurings as to what she was going back and what she was going to edit out. But I really didn't think that it was going to be the part about Drew's sister and the mental health discussion, because she was questioning let's get this straight. She was questioning Drew because Drew has been showing herself as a pathological liar, guys. She was saying, well, Drew needed to she was trying to stay on the show. I was wondering if she was using her sister as a storyline or whatever. And she was saying, I'm just going to be honest, I did question it in the beginning. She was admitting that her doubts were connected to Drew's behavior. She did not make fun of Drew's sister. She didn't do that. Kandi has been very public about her own mental health struggles. So for you all to try to now go back and change history as if she's some mean girl that goes around, she doesn't do that. That's not her brand. That's not what she does. I understand that we want clicks and views, and everybody like to jump on a bandwagon, and everything just becomes one big echo chamber. But somebody has to tell the truth. That's not how that worked. And I understand that she went back and edited parts of it out. And I also understand that the original part that was edited out is still floating around out there. But once again, it would be irresponsible to put that clip in if Jamie went and deleted it, which that's another thing. Kandi doesn't personally put a strike on somebody's account because she doesn't handle her own social media and her own posts and stuff like that. Y'all know which parts of her team are behind certain things. So maybe y'all should just give it a couple of days or something like that and see if when she calms down, if she changes her mind. But y'all got to admit that friend group is going through a lot of things right now. Maybe we should be putting up more posts praying for Shamia's baby than we are trying to tear down the queen. Bravo spent all season trying to tear down the queen, and then look at how that worked out for them. Now in the 11th hour, they had to go back and backtrack, eat their words, bow down, bend the knee, kiss the ring. All of a sudden, Kandi and the gang is coming back after we were told months ago that it wasn't coming back. All of a sudden, hey, Kandi and Todd, you can stream on Peacock now. Yeah. I don't know if y'all have completely caught what's going on. I'm still working on the breadcrumbs video, and I'm going to say this. Stop inboxing people or stop getting in people's comments talking about who's your source and who's the leak and telling people that they need to take their post down and arguing the validity of what they're saying. Sweetie, there is no leak. The entire industry is a leak, and it's a leak that you all caused. Stop threatening people. I don't have another source of income. So if I don't make something shake with content creation or some sort of job that I can work, first of all, only when I'm feeling well, only when I'm not half paralyzed, and I can work around my sensitivity to light, sound, and smell when I have a migraine aura. What job am I supposed to have? Y'all tear down a little bit that people have when they're just trying to build something. I don't make trash content tearing people down. Now, I do call it fair and I do call people out sometimes, but even within, I try to get teachable moments out of it. I use it as edutainment and I try to figure out what can we learn from this. I'm not an irresponsible content creator, but the truth of the matter is it doesn't take a rocket scientist or a genius to figure out that these people have some real OGs in common that they've all worked with, mainly Mona and Tyler, which leads back to the big O. If they want to get off of white folks' money and go to a black network, the options are limited. This is not rocket science. Nobody's stupid. We've seen the 360 that Bravo had to take recently after they had already stopped filming and then had to turn around and go back and pick up production. And finally, after dragging Kandi all season long, now all of a sudden in the last couple of episodes of the season that they threw on for good measure after they were trying to give her the kiss off, now all of a sudden they spent half of one whole episode going in and talking about her movie that's going to be on Peacock. Nobody's stupid. We understand when changes this drastic has been made, some contracts and conversations have been renegotiated. But know this, everybody that you all try to reach out to for the reboot and the recast, Kandi is connected to everybody in Atlanta. She ain't gonna block her friend's bag, but also she ain't gonna let them sign no contract if y'all trying to lowball them on the bag. They're off that. This is how this whole thing got started. The industry not wanting to pay people caused an entire shutdown. And when the writers and everybody else, do you know how many people are a part of any given type of production or project? It's not just the executive producers have to be leaking information. It's different, right? Everybody, the whole industry is on strike. The only avenues that people have right now, the only loopholes is going to be reality TV and indie projects. So clearly, you're going to have to get with some people with big names, with their own studios. Come on now, this is not rocket science. Come on, you have two content creators or two people that's in the industry who fell out supposedly over a business deal. And now each one of them have been putting out videos, interviewing people and asking, so if we could do some sort of recast, who would you still want to be a part of the show and this, that, and the third? One person has gotten over the Phaedra thing. The other person is still waiting. She is not. Oh, God. I don't like when people lie on Kandi. I don't like the Kandi hate train. I don't like the Carlos hate train. Yes, we've seen somebody can hold a grudge for 20 years. But you know what the difference is? It was the absence of, first and foremost, a sincere apology, an explanation for your actions, and then changed behavior. That's all that takes. Stop asking these stupid questions. Why is she back cool with Portia and then not cool with other people? Name one of the people that she never got back cool with that did these things. Y'all tried to come for her neck unprovoked for no reason. You lied on her, tried to stop her bag, never apologized, and never changed your actions. And then you wonder why some stuff is on hold. Don't you think it's a little stupid that y'all had to figure out how y'all can do a project together, but then the frenemies not have to film together? How did this get leaked? How did this get out? You can hire people for stuff, and then all they do is farm the smaller stuff out, like making graphics and stuff like that, to people that are on Fiverr or other people that they notice can make good graphics. Now, it doesn't take a genius to figure out if somebody is asking you to put these words together with these photos and this, that, and the third, what type of project you're working on and what y'all have going on behind the scenes. Especially when the person that is coming from, that's hiring folks for the work, is from a business website and not just from their own little personal Gmail. Stop it. All of the breadcrumbs are out there. I'm collecting all of them, and I'm putting them in a video. That is the point, the blank, and the period. Now, I need to build my following. And as a person who has a pro-Black brand, I am 100% excited about the OGs stepping in, squashing this unnecessary beef, and figuring out what the original source in, and healing and mending relationships and getting people to work together again and get back to the bag. They're almost there. Some frameworks and conversations have been had. You got somebody who's willing to do this workaround type of project in order for the greater good of somebody who got kids to continue to send to private school and stuff like that. Somebody that's willing to help you in spite of yourself. And you still won't go ahead, clean it up, make it public, and do the right thing. Y'all almost there. Don't backtrack now. But I'm telling y'all, these content creators putting this stuff out, throwing all of this hate on Kandi, putting this heat on her with major organizations, y'all getting ready to hustle backwards on something monumental that can happen. Stop it. Get out of the echo chamber. Stop trying to do and say and spin a narrative just for clicks and views. Y'all act like Kandi went on there and pointed and laughed at the girl. That's not how this went. Stop selling that narrative. And another thing, while we on the topic, stop tearing down Carlos King too. Who else do you all know that is trying to put Black folks on television in an ensemble cast and not have it be Zeus Network or some Love and Hip Hop, Bad Girls Club, whatever type of stuff? Stop blaming him for everything not being sunshine and butterflies and this, that, and the third. He's tried to show the comeback group. He's tried to show the men's movement and stuff like that. If these people don't have their stuff together, that's on them. That's not on Carlos. These women knew that their husbands was misogynistic Neanderthals before they let a camera come into their house. That's your fault. These husbands knew that they was cheating on their wives or moving funny out in these streets before you let a camera come into your life. That's your fault. That's not Carlos King's fault. All he knows is what you all reveal up front. And once the filming starts and the contracts is signed, y'all got to roll with it. It's not just the jobs and the paychecks of the people that's in front of the camera. Do you know how many people lose their jobs and how many people you have depending on you once you start a project? That's crazy. What do y'all want from these people? It's still Black reality. And Kandi consistently tries to put people on, tries to give shine to smaller content creators, tries to make sure that all of her friends eat, and y'all never satisfied. But with this narrative taking legs about her making fun of mental health and this, that, and the third, y'all don't know what little traction y'all getting ready to shut down. And let's be 100% clear. Kandi and Todd are multimillionaires with multiple streams of income. It ain't gonna hurt them. One thing she ain't gonna do is let none of her friends sign no bad contract. And they all have collectively understood the importance of having your name in front of or behind the camera, more so than in front of, so that you can be some of the decision-making people. But y'all getting ready to mess up one of the biggest coups and the biggest takeovers that could ever happen for Black people in the industry. Because the only thing that everybody with a brain can agree on is the common denominator, which is Bravo. Each and every one of these relationships were fractured due to their connection with Bravo. Every single one of them. Bravo and the rumors and the this, that, and the third got the ball rolling on all of this. And Tamika is the Scott sister that realized that the person behind the way she was portrayed and the way that her whole family fell apart on this show. Y'all, they no, Mona Scott is not the one behind this. That's the network. She don't make the final decisions on everything that comes out. That's not how this works. That is not how this works. Is she over the project, or is she the top producer that's the liaison and the go-between or whatever? But if you don't own the network, you don't get the final say of each and everything of how it plays out. Everybody, no matter how high up you are, you have your orders and you have to toe the line too. So if you have a network that would rather play up the drama and downplay Black entrepreneurship and this, that, and the third, then that's the project that you're going to get. Stop blaming Kandi. Stop blaming Mona. Stop blaming Carlos. Stop blaming all of these other whatever. They got them on the ropes. Let them eat. Kandi done went from going into talks from her, this being her last season. Her character is attacked and her businesses were attacked on this season when this all started. And her other show on the network was canceled. They were trying to wash their hands of her. And look at the champ swinging back. No, now they giving her show back. They didn't have to go and recreate and rehash some newfangled episodes and new confessionals tied in and spliced in with the old ones. It's a lot of developments that happened after the complete shutdown of the industry happened. Let these people cook. Let them eat. So if we as Black content creators can just collectively agree to stand down on the Kandi slander, the Carlos slander, and anybody else that is big behind the scenes in the industry until we see how this is going to play out. Everybody got breadcrumbs. Nobody has the full picture. And one thing that we all know is this stuff can change at the drop of a dime. They will change the name of a series a lot of times for legal reasons. They'll change the logo. They'll switch characters and components in and out. It's other stuff in the works. You don't know how quick. Before we blame Kandi, it's not just her. And I'm going to explain the thumbnails and the wording that is used and this, that, and the third. But you got to capture people's attention. And then when you do the long explanation breadcrumbs video, then you can define exactly what it is that you meant. But just know this. A real friend wouldn't let their friends sign a bad contract. But you have to understand the problem that it's going to cause if you could get something like a Carlos, a Kandi, a Mona, a Tyler, and an Oprah all on the same page. They going to shake the industry up. You can't even do independent and reality TV if you ain't got somebody with a studio and somebody with some pull and somebody with some connections and somebody with some coins. Black folks got to get together and form like Voltron. And y'all getting ready to mess everything up. Shut up. Stop lying on her. Drew and her sister need a moment right now. Y'all act like Kandi went on and just dragged the girl to Kingdom Come. And if Drew didn't lie so doggone much, none of this would have got started. If Drew and her husband's marriage wasn't a sham, none of this would have gotten started. If Drew wasn't trying to hide her real identity and orientation and everything else and trying to use Kandi as a scapegoat, none of this would have gotten started. So a few words out of context or that was assumed to be harsher than what they really are, is taking on legs and going in a direction that it did not have to go and that it was not intended to go. Y'all putting 20 on 10. Knock it off. Because like I said, in the end, it ain't going to be Kandi and Todd that's hurt. But all of the other people that they trying to help secure the bag for, that's who's going to be hurt by that. So unless somebody can go back and show a pattern of behavior of Kandi tearing down people's mental health or any other type of health or any type of other issues that people have and making fun of folks in that way, then you should know. For some of us, especially millennials, that's been a fan of her for 25, 30 plus years, then you should know that this is not her character. That's not what she said, and that's not what she meant. And I'm going to just wrap everything up by saying this. Stop trying to intimidate content creators. Some of us have chronic illnesses and no other form of income. So unless y'all are either getting ready to hire me to do something, run me a check to stop running my mouth, or hit me with that legal action because that'll get it too, these videos are going to continue to come. And every bit of information that I get, I'm going to post. Why? Because I'm not doing anything different than anybody else is doing. Everybody is talking about the same things. Everybody is talking about the cash shakeup. And let's be 100% clear. If B. Scott don't stand down, ain't nobody else going to stand down. It ain't just one leak. The entire industry is talking because the entire industry is tired of sitting at the house with no work and receiving these 32-cent residual checks. They don't have no reason to hide or protect y'all secrets no more. Y'all caused this. And everybody involved has now figured out that the common denominator is this network. Think about it. Go back. Think about it. Every bit of beef, it all stems back to Bravo. All stems back to Roa. These people would rather find a way to work with different respective organizations and charities partnered up or at 2 or 3 of them together for the ones that, because the whole cast can't stand each other. But they'd rather do that than to put another dime in your hand. But once again, Kandi is trying to make sure that everybody eat. You got the Kandis and the Carloses and the Mariah Hucks of the world that are trying to do exactly what the GOAT told them, which is to build your own table. But y'all stronger together. It's people who are catching a clue. So trying to shut down small content creators who don't have any other source of income, it ain't gonna go how you think. I'll start another channel and still keep running my mouth. Unless you can run me that money. Or unless you hit me with the legal action because you're a bully and you know that I literally have $0 to try to fight it. But y'all got to stop this.